Okay, it should be on. Test. Okay. Oh, right. Spoopy. Spoopy-doo music. Can't do it. Hello, everyone. My name is Allie. I'm from Ok2BeFat because it is okay to be fat. Welcome to your Yakuza Like a Dragon stream. We stream all the Yakuza Like a Dragon games. This is Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. Hello and welcome. Well, it's been a bit of a stressful week. Let's see. What do we got left to do on the do-to-ding list? Ooh, that's some points. Okay. Nice, nice. Okay. Let's see. Akame Network. Activities. Get money. Take pictures. Royal table. Alright, I'll do it. I'll do it. Let's go to the royal table filled with D-bags, because who else would call themselves royalty? It's me, modern day aristocrat. Okay, good for you. Give all that money back. Give it back. I mean, unless people are doing it in, like, you know, not like I'm a modern aristocrat way, then, like, it's whatever, you know. So you wish to compete with us? You challenge us knowing the prowess at our table is unmatched? Nothing ventured, nothing gained is the saying. If you wish to throw yourself into the flames. Blah, 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 money. Sure. Whatever, man. Whatever you say. I guess. Let's change the rules and make it a full game just to make it a little easier to beat these wieners, because I know they're gonna, like, it's either gonna be good luck or they're gonna whip my booty. Hey, have a Wednesday and some money. Ooh, you got some money? That's sweet. Nice. Oh, okay. It's nice to see you, Will. How you doing? Hope well. I'm gonna go ahead and I forgot to add this. Add the content note in. This game has a photosensitivity and epilepsy warning. Please be aware of that if it's something that you need to know about. I am pinning the comments at the top of the stream. Or chat, I mean. Ma'am, I will get to you. I thought some mahjong would be nice and potentially soothing. Had mochi ice cream. It was tasty, but I had so many and now everything tastes lemon. It's so good though, isn't it? I like it. It's really tasty. How am I doing? First of all, thank you for asking. there's some stressful stuff going on at work that I can't really talk about, and frankly, at the end of the day, has nothing to do with me and isn't really up to me. So like, that's kind of doesn't really bear talking or thinking about. But like, it's mostly like I feel pretty good physically, but I've turned off cat news because I don't want to like. It's stressful and I don't want to get like too into it, but so I'll just tell you now, and then if someone comes in and is like, how's Reg doing, maybe y'all could like update them in the chat. But or you could join the Discord, which is the link just popped in if you want. I'm kind of trying to give people updates there as we get updates, but the current update is there's not one. We are still waiting for him to poop. It is very stressful. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, I mean, he seems perkier. He's not like lolling about as much, I guess, if that makes sense. Thank you, Will. I appreciate it. I mean, we're in touch with the vet. We've been, you know, we're on it, but like at this point, all we can really do is wait for him to poop, and that's it. And so, like, that is what we are doing. And it's very stressful, but yes. So I wanted to, okay, so let me read this Nightbot reminder. We are supporting the Medical Aid for Palestine's map with a charity stream. I will put $1 USD in the swear jar for peace for every swear word I say during the reward stream. Friendos can also give to support the cause of ending genocide and saving lives by going to the map website and giving your own donation. And then there is a link. You can feel free to do that at any point. With kind of what's going on with Reg, I'm extremely reluctant to set a solid time, even though physically I feel better than I have in a while. But that's kind of what's going on with that. I don't want to think about it anymore because, like, I wish there was something I could do immediately to fix it, but, like, there's not. So I'm really upset that this happened in the first place. Yeah. So that's that. Oh yeah, and then there just doesn't stop being stuff. The other thing that I wanted to say is our internet's been having problems intermittently, so this stream we may get kicked off. We've been having problems. Xfinity at least says they're working on it. I don't even have the brain space to deal with that at the moment. Like, if this continues to be a thing, then we will have to do things. I do not feel much more capable of doing anything right now than waiting for this cat to poop. So that's kind of where we are. I don't like it. You know? It's just not what I wanted. It's not what anybody wants. But I thought I could come here and play a little mahjong, and maybe I'll talk a little bit about the drawings that I'm making, because that's good and fun, and this other stuff, it's not fun. So when things aren't fun, I find for me the best thing to do, if there is nothing to be done about it, the best thing is to try to like distract and think about something else. So that is what I'm gonna try to do. I'm not good at it, but I'm gonna try. What drawings am I working on? Thank you for asking. I don't remember if I said this. If I did, I apologize for repeating it. But I am working on TikToks that are like drawings of animes I have seen. That's what it's called. It's like drawing animes I've seen. And so, I'd rather not do that. And so I decided, I don't know, what happened was I drew, I wanted to refer to Food Wars, which I have seen. It's the second anime that I've seen. Sometimes drawing the characters, frequently drawing characters, sometimes drawing like other things that go along with it. Like, and I drew, hell yeah. I was working on the D&D video. I wanted to refer to Food Wars because of the, like, frustrating ubiquity of, AI art garbo, like, just polluting the crap out of, Google image search, and also just, I don't know, because I thought, I drew this, like, drawing for I couldn't find, like, I wanted an image. I had an idea in my head, of, like, an image that said America boat. Where it's like, this boat goes to America. It's the America boat. Because they get on a boat to go to America at the end of the first season. And so, because they're in England, and it is, like, Victorian times, so like they have to boat it over there, because there's not planes, and not that anybody on a plane does any better in JoJo than Jonathan did on the boat. Like, just general transportation issues every time anyone tries to go anywhere on that show. Very funny, but so I was like, I couldn't find this, no, Food Wars didn't go back in time. JoJo went back in time. I'm sorry, I might be, like, talking a little confusedly, and I apologize if that's the case. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, like, the first season is set during Victorian times. Jack the Ripper is a character in the first season of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And so at the end of that season, he gets on a boat to go to America. And so I wanted to draw the America boat. Or I wanted to, like, have a thing that said, I wanted to have a thing that said America boat. Or that I could label America boat, and I couldn't find anything that felt satisfactory. So I was just like, screw it, I'll just sit down and draw something myself. So I did, because because I can do that. And then, I'm gonna give that another round. Yeah, no, it just kind of generally starts at that point of, Victorian times and kind of goes forward from there. So the second season is set, like, in between World War I and II, and then the third season is set, like, I want to say it's in the 80s. I want to say it's in the 80s, but, because Jotaro is Jonathan's grandson, but I don't remember. And then, the next season's set in the 90s, etc., etc. Because it's like it's generational. And so, like, I was just like, alright, I'll just I drew the America boat, and then I drew Jonathan on it, listed a little cartoon, and, it was very funny to me to have done that. I found it very amusing, and, the jacket says 1980s, I mean, that makes sense. So it was just fun. It was just a fun thing to kind of add to the piece. And I was like, I want to do more of that. That was fun. Let's go towards the fun. So in the dandy piece, I am talking about Food Wars. And so I wanted to... I wanted to illustrate why I thought it was weird that Space Dandy is labeled mature for saying boobies. That's it. There are no boobies. There's no sex, it's literally just like, boobies is an equivalent to Hooters. In that universe, it's just a restaurant where ladies in bikinis bring the food out. And Dandy is a booby liker. Which, I mean, is fair. They're like, you know, a lot of people like a booby. Oh, looks like we got a little something. Alright, hang on. Wait, that's not it. Shit. That's really annoying. Yes, it has for real nudity. Okay, hang on. I don't know why this is like a problem. There we go. There we go. Yeah, like, Food Wars is like, hello to booby. And, like, but it's not labeled mature, at least not on Crunchyroll. I went back and checked because I was like, is that true? Brain? And like, yeah, pretty sure that's true. So, I just wanted to kind of make a point that, like, because I had already seen Food Wars and a number of other things where I was like, oh, how will I explain this to my husband if he walks in? That I was just kind of like, it makes it seem more, like, risque than it actually is. Like, because I was just like, what is going on in Space Dandy that, like, could warrant a mature rating when, like, Food Wars didn't get a mature rating, and I enjoyed Food Wars. I'm a mature person. I can watch booby if I want. Like, you know, or implied booby. I'm allowed. I'm grown. It's, like, it could, I guess. I mean, like, I genuinely, there's something going on there that I don't understand, and I hesitate to speculate because I don't know the reason. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what the standards are. I'm very new to watching anime at all, so I really hesitate to speculate on, like, why things are the way that they are. It is weird, but I'm just kind of like, I mean, I'm just like, I guess. But, so I drew, like, I drew a cartoon kind of image of, like, the tasting in Food Wars where, like, Kaplu, all the clothes shoot off. And it was so funny to me. I don't know if it's funny to anybody else, but it was funny as heck to me. And that's, like, truly, is that not what matters? So, I decided that it would be fun to draw little cartoons. And just the, like, cartooning aspect of it was so, just nice. Hey, it's Forstein! That, like, I just really was like, it would be pretty fun and cool to, like, do more of this, I think. Or at least it would be fun for me. And I was like, if I cartoon animes that I've seen, then I can make TikToks, and then I'll get two things from that. One is, I'll be cartooning, which I enjoy, and the other thing is, I can finish something very quickly. And then get the zing of being like, yeah, it's done. The shrimp thing? So, I made a list that I posted to Discord, so if you want, like, a preview of the list of animes I have seen and am planning to draw cartoons of, I put it on Discord, so it is there. But I did, Akagi, which I just think also it is, like, hilarious that the first, like, the first anime that I, like, really watched was, about Mahjong, because I just feel like that's not most people's, like, way into watching anime. There's a thing with a breaded shrimp, and all of a sudden the taster is, like, dreaming up a shrimp king with a breaded shrimp as a head. Oh! See, like, part of the problem is like, I didn't remember too much from Food Wars. So sometimes I have to be like, I gotta be frank, because I'm not looking stuff up for these, because I'm not trying to make, like, a bunch of extra work for myself. I just want to draw and then talk about the drawings, and that's it. That's all I want to do. So the next So I did Akagi, I did Food Wars. I'm trying to go in chronological order. Although I did leave off of that list that I put on Discord, I left off 2 things. One was Castlevania, because people call it an anime, so I'm going to consider it an anime. And the other one was the anime of Karl Marx's life, which I forgot about, but we did watch, and Josh reminded me of. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Yeah, there's a Karl Marx anime. You can watch it on YouTube. That's what we did. But it's about the life of Karl Marx. Like, I do remember that there's a part. It's Chinese, but it's still in the same like genre in my opinion. So like, I'm giving a broader definition to what is anime than is sometimes used. But like, Jeezies, that's bad. Oh, I'm still winning now. Okay. Dang. Doing the full round, I think I really fucked myself here. There's an anime about Princess Diana? Whoa. I did not know about that. I'll have to tell Josh about that. But, like, we also watched one about sake brewing, but, like, that was a long time ago, so... Well, maybe I'll include that one, too. Like, I could just keep going and just be like, bonus material. Here's cartoons of the Miyazaki movies I've seen. And also, I stopped in the middle because I did Akagi, Food Wars, and then I stopped and did the John Travolta movie, The Boy in the Plastic Bubble, just because, like, nobody can tell me what to do with my drawings that I don't make any money on. So I can do whatever I want with them. Because no one's paying me to do things with them, so why wouldn't I just do what I feel like? Hawk, the freedom of not being paid. I mean, in a way, it's not wrong. The problem with getting an art job is that art is then your job. You know what I mean? It's like, because capitalism is so shitty, that, like, you basically kind of have to, like, you either take a job that, like, is not about art, and you're like, you know, you're doing crap that you don't care about all day long so that you can, you know, afford art supplies and rent. Or you take an art job and you make somebody else's art, and then, like, the way that people tell you to. And it's like, with both of those, at the end of the day, do you still have the energy and the wherewithal to make art? Like, it's hard. I mean, there's been times where I wished I, like, had an art job, but, like, I also know people who have art jobs, so I know, like, that it is not, like, sunshine and roses, you know, because it's just not. And so, like, I mean, unless you're already wealthy, there's just no winning with it, you know what I mean? But, like, we don't really play to win. We play for ourselves. But it's not really about winning, is it? It's about it's not about winning. It's not about having. It's not about beating in competition. It's about making things because you want to. Because if you don't make the thing, if I go for too long without making a thing, I start to feel not good. Like I emotionally and mentally do not feel good. And so, like, if that's how you're wired, and clearly not everyone is, which is fine, but if that's how your brain works, then you're gonna do it. You're gonna make the art. Because, like, you need to. And so, like, I don't know. I guess that's why when I talk to, like, AI art people, I feel like I'm, like, I cannot get, like, the point across to them because, like, we're not having the same conversation at all. And, like, it's like trying to explain algebra to, like, someone in elementary school. I mean, not algebra. I can't explain algebra. But, like, I don't know. It would be like trying to explain paint mixing theory to a baby. Like, they don't have the reference to... like, that's a baby. They don't know what you're talking about. Like, if I get really in-depth on, like, you know, compositional structure to my cat, like, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. Ah, I was second place. Hey, it's Pixie. So, of course, because I am myself, I started out, I drew one cartoon of a Akagi. And then I drew 2 cartoons for Food Wars. And then I drew 3 cartoons for the John Travolta thing. But the third anime I saw was Neon Genesis Evangelion. It's Ava. And so, like, I think part of the reason why I peeled off and... Do I want to try these people again? Yeah, I'm going to try it one more time. Yeah, you're fancy, blee blee. They think the end process is... It's like... I don't even know if they care about the end product. Like, do they? That seems hard to credit. Because they don't want to know anything about it. I don't know. It's all about, like, money and having and possessing and owning and, like... I guess, but it's just, like... I mean, who would want any of these people as clients in the first place? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you know they would be awful commission clients. I try to make up for how I know a lot of people are with commissions by being, like, a really good commissions client. I send my, when I get, like, art done on commission, I pull color swatches. And I'm like, it's this. I'll pull up cadmium yellow in like a Google search and be like, this one, and like this kind of thing, and this is the kind of, this is, you know, for my book cover, I sent the artist who is my friend. I think I sent like 4 swatches, 3 kind of ideas of backgrounds, like, you know, 3 like physical person reference photos, and like we did still have to talk about some stuff, but like I know what it's like when someone cannot tell you and will not participate in the process of trying to fucking winkle it out of them what they're actually fucking talking about. Is so frustrating because like what you don't want to do is redo the shit like 17 times. And they're just like, and I'm like, y'all, like, I don't understand it, because I'm like, there was plenty of art to look at in those styles beforehand, and you weren't looking at it. There was plenty of, like, ways to learn about art, and you didn't do it. Like, you know, anybody would have been happy to explain this to you. Like, I mean, it is, like, it's really suspicious that a whole bunch of people suddenly care about art that never did before. And I'm like, I know you didn't before, because you don't know what you're talking about on such a deep, basic level. I thought people commission artists because they enjoy that particular artist's way of doing art. Oh yeah, I did want her to do it her way, but I also was like, you know, you can't just tell an artist, or, I mean, you can, but you're going to get a bunch of questions. Like, I want a fat lady in a beautiful, like, you know, leotard with all the rolls showing on a galaxy background. Like, I mean, that's a nice place to start, but it's like, well, what kind of galaxy background? What colors do you want it to include? Like, what kind of, like, do you have, like, an idea in mind of, like, how you want that person to be posed, you know? Like, and so, like, you do gotta send people stuff, or, like, you gotta ask people stuff, but, like, then you go back to them, and you're like, hey, so, like, what blue do you mean? You know what I mean? Like, okay, great, blue. There's a lot of kinds of blue. So, like, what blue are we talking about? That would be good to know. Ow, crap. And, like, so you do really need to nail that down. Like, do we mean navy blue? Or do we mean baby blue? Because that's really different. And it just makes it easier on the artist up front. If you have something... This is just advice for commissioning artists. Do please commission artists. Do please pay them. Do please commission people that you like their work. But if you're like, hey, I want, like, a galaxy background with a cat on it, you know, eating a pizza. It is such... It's such an amazing gift to that artist if you kind of are like... Here's 3 pictures of the type of cat that I'm thinking of. I want it to be an orange cat. I want it to be a white cat. I want it to be a tabby cat. You know what I mean? Here's a picture of the type of galaxy background I'm thinking of. Here's like 4 examples. You know, and then a good artist will take that, and then they'll do the work, but then they'll be like, well, thank God, I don't have to wonder if, like, what kind of cat we're talking about here. Like, I've never had anyone do that for me, and I stopped taking commissions years ago. But, like, I just was like, what would have been nice when I was taking commissions to have someone do? And the answer was, be incredibly specific at the beginning. Because the reason I'm commissioning art is because I either don't have a skill in that area, or I don't have time to do the thing. Because, like, I don't know how to do everything. Like, I mean, I purchased all my emotes because, like, could I learn how to make emotes? Yeah, I could do that. Do I have time to learn how to make emotes? No. No, I don't. I don't have time for that. And so what I gotta do is, you know, pay for them. I commissioned some special, and then I went to Etsy and I purchased them from people. Because they had stuff that I thought was cute. Hey, it's Jay. Cat eating a pizza with a galaxy background. I mean, it's not a bad idea. Feel free to take it. You can't, like, own an idea. Like, I mean, honestly, the idea of having a bunch of people drawing the same drawing at the same time is, like, what is that if not art class? And, like, that's the part of art class I really liked, was the part where you got to see everybody's take on the assignment. Because people come up with things that you would have never thought of. And that's cool. But yeah, so let's see. So for Ava, so far, I have drawn Gendo and Shinji, and Ava Unit 1, 2 self-portraits, another portrait of Shinji, and a bunch of fire. And I have one more thing I need to do, but that's just writing something down. So that's like, what, 7? It's really expanded. And I also, like, switched over to a less, like, I don't know, comical style. There's, like, obviously, there's different styles of cartooning, and the style that I've been using up until now has been really, like, it's been simple. Like, simple drawings, just zip, zip it out, and it's done. The drawings have been fast. But, like, this is taking a little bit longer, because I had, like, a really kind of profound experience watching Ava, so I wanted to kind of speak to that. In my head, it's an orange cat face dunking into a deep dish pizza, Milky Way in the background. Jay says, my cat had a 1980s turquoise sunglasses and the galaxy was arcade carpet. Nice. Pixie says, when I say cat, I think of Maine Coon as they're the cat I see most on Twitter. Okay. You see what I mean, though? Like, as a visual artist with clients, and I learned this in design school, is, like, you gotta, you really gotta nail that down. Because it's, especially with something like theater design, like, we do not have the time or money to go, like, you can't build a whole set and then have the director come in and be like, oh, that's not what I meant. No. No. We don't have the time or the money for that. Forsteen was thinking of a gray tabby. It's a good exercise, I think. But sure. But yeah, so I'm finishing up my Ava drawings. I probably will not draw. I mean, the one after that is going to be Cowboy Bebop, and I liked Cowboy Bebop a lot, but, like, there's a reason why I drew myself as Shinji. Do you know what I mean? And, like, putting the movies aside, I've not seen them. So, like, it's more of a case of just, like, the TV show. And, like, I was just like, I can't believe this is so popular. This kind of like deconstruction of a genre, like kind of profound meditation on like child abuse and depression and like and then I mean, I hate to say this because I definitely don't want the anime people to come for me, but I'm like, oh, it's popular because people didn't get it. Which is what I kind of think. Cowboy Bebop is gorgeous. I mean, like, that's what I have to say about Cowboy Bebop, like, the most is like, a lot of my comments on anime really do have to do with, like, the visual presentation of it. But it's a drawn visual medium, so, like, it's not, you know, like, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, I'll take that. Like, I told Josh, because this is true, that I watched like 10-15 minutes of a very long video of a man yelling about why Demon Slayer sucks, and Josh was like, why would you do that? And I was like, he was like, didn't you like Demon Slayer? And I was like, I don't know, I'm just interested in people's opinions. I got a lot of time to kill doing the math, so, you know. But like, it was not labeled man angrily yells about Demon Slayer. It was labeled why Demon Slayer is bad. And I was like, oh, well, I thought it was pretty good. Interested in other people's opinions, though, so I take a look, and it's just like, nothing in this makes sense. And I just don't, like, it's just kind of like, I don't know, like, refusing to enter into the spirit of the thing. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, it's like going to a Superman movie and sitting there with your arms crossed and being like, people can't fly. And it's just like, well, go home then. Like, why are you here? Like, if you're not interested in meeting the thing at the premise that it has, like, why are we here? What are we talking about? I really don't like that, like, you know, this movie had a continuity error in it. Look at these, blah, blah. So bad, and, like, they, you know, they made a mistake. And it's just like, have you ever tried to do anything as hard as making a fucking movie? And, like, there's so many things you could say about even the worst movie, usually, and you're just like, this man had a coffee cup and then he didn't. And it's just like, so? And so anyway, because I was like, I don't know. I just was interested, and YouTube kept showing it to me, and so I was like, alright, I'll take a look. And then, I just didn't think it was really... worthwhile, I guess. I mean, that sounds mean, but, like, that was how I felt about it, was I was just like, well, I mean, if you're not gonna, like, if you're not gonna let the thing be what it is, then, like, you don't gotta like it. That's okay, but, like, you could just be like, listen, I hated Seinfeld. I hated it in the 90s when everybody liked it. I hated it when, like, before people knew about Jerry Seinfeld's teenage girlfriend who was exactly my fucking age when I was in high school. I felt pretty, like, justified after learning that, but, like, that was not at the beginning of it. Like, I hated it immediately. And everybody loved it. And I don't have a reason for that. I just immediately hated it, and I never changed my mind. Like, you could just be like, I hate this thing everyone else likes for no reason. And then, or you could just not say anything. That's also an option. But, you know, I don't know. I just didn't think it was legitimate. But, like, cause, like, Demon Slayer's on my list, too. I thought it was fun. It's beautifully animated. Like, that's kind of what got me, like, thinking about it. Is because, like, some of the things that I have to say are about, like, how beautiful different animes are and the animation that they have. Like, I should have said in Food Wars, and I forgot. Because I was, needed to tell people about the gnocchi that, Soma tricked me into making. But, like, the food in Food Wars is illustrated, like, so beautifully. Like, but, like, in the 90s, if you didn't like Seinfeld, it was like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, I just don't like it. And, like, I've had friends who are, like, almost want to, like, beat up on you if you're like, I don't like that thing. Because they're like, but, like, I like it. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, well, but that means, like, if you don't like it, then, like, that means that I shouldn't like it because it's bad. And I was like, whoa, why would you think that? Why would you think that? No, you can like whatever you like. I mean, it's not, a lot of this is just aesthetic preference, and, like, it's fine for people to have different aesthetic preferences. And just be like, oh, you know, like, it's also, like, it's never fun when you're trying to watch something and then someone else is, like, you know, really, like, making sure you're having the appropriate reaction. I mean, and I've done that myself, so I can't, like, I let he who is not sinned throw the first stone, and I certainly can't in this instance, but, like, you know, I get it, wanting somebody to like something that you like, so you're, like, kind of, like, you know, try to sneaky watch them, except I'm not sneaky, like, I can't be. It's functionally impossible. But, like, I love that they now have people who are clearly filming these fights. Because, like, realism, baby. That is what would happen. Kiryu would be, like, viral on Twitter, like, all the time. Just, like, man with no shoes and a hat destroys 7 guys. Like, that would be everywhere. I mean, it's like, it's one thing, Jay says it's one thing to be like, hey, I want to share this thing with you, and another thing to be like, if you don't like this, you're invalid and bad. One is a personal exchange, and the other one is you're not in my gang, smell you later. Yeah, the person I'm specifically thinking of, it wasn't like you're bad. It was like, but you have to like it, because if you don't, it means I'm bad. And I'm just like, well, I didn't say that, and wouldn't say that. Even at, like, 1920, I was not, like, so, like, you know, enamored of myself that I would be like, oh, I'm the only one who has good taste. I mean, like, I know I don't. I know I have, like, weird kind of trash taste a lot of the time, and I'm okay with it, you know. I don't know, it just never, like, if you're like, I don't like that thing that you like, I'm like, okay. Is there anything else you want to say? I don't know. I don't know what do you want me to say to that? Like, besides, like, okay. You know, I mean, like, I like the Scott Pilgrim movie, even though I acknowledge it has problems. Do you know how many people want to tell me that they don't like that movie? Like, you don't have to like it. It's fine. It is fine. I don't know why I came in here. Oh, well, I guess I could sell some plates. Like, it's just a movie. Canadian thing, CanCon compliance met. Yeah, Scott's Canadian. Jay, have you seen Scott Pilgrim? Does, like, cause, like, what I want to know is, like, does it, like, feel Canadian to a Canadian? Cause, I don't know, I just find that interesting. But I'm trying to do drawings for Ava that I would not classify as better. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't really like talking about styles of drawing as one, you know, one that is clearly like cartoony and more simplified and maybe meant for like more comedic purposes. I do not believe that that is less good than something that is more visibly effortful. I don't believe that. I don't think that that's true or right. I'm never gonna believe that. That is hokum. That is not true. Maybe I'll just go do, I'm like, what do we got? Akame, what do we got? What do we got? I didn't get the Mahjong. I'm sorry. Claw machine? Alright. I can do the claw machine. I need more parts. I need to play golf. Alright, let's try it. I've seen some of the original movie and some of the original manga, and yes, he comes across as a very specific Toronto guy in the 2000s factory. Like, because I believe the author is Canadian, and, like, so that would make sense. And also, like, it's, I think in that way is, like, kind of somewhat universal, or, like, can have more of a universal application, because I'm like, I've known guys like Scott when I was that age. You know what I mean? Some guys are really immature. And, like, I don't know. I feel like maybe, not that people shouldn't try to be better, but, like, I don't know. I was, like, I had a coworker that was, like, really hostile at one point, and then I found out later she was, like, 22, and I was, like, 28, and I was just kind of like, she's 22. She's still shaking off that, like, being a teenager thing. I'm just not gonna let this bother me. I'm almost 30. I'm not gonna get like that upset about something a 22-year-old said to me. So it helped give me a little perspective, because like it's just different when you're younger and haven't had more time to mature. I'm just kind of more willing to give people some grace to, like, you know, learn and mind their manners and find better ways to deal with their frustration as they age. If you're like if you're 42 and you're still acting that way, like, we're in a fight, because like you've had enough time. You should know better. But yeah, so like I decided to draw in a more it's like it's mostly pencil, it's more more lines, which I think kind of, I guess, sometimes speaks to people as being like better, because you can see the effort. But like, just because you can't see the effort in a really simple drawing, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Like, sometimes a really simple thing can actually be a lot more difficult than it seems like it would be, because of the amount of precision that's required to get across what you're trying to get across. The simpler the thing is, the harder it is to make it speak properly. Like, sometimes, you know, there are some artists that, like, artists appreciate more than the general public does, and I think in the same way that there's some musicians that's true for, too. Just because it's, like, so obvious the skill level that was required. I think I found the reason why these AI weirdos, like, don't understand why they aren't getting, I mean, besides the stealing, like, which they clearly don't care about, because they want to talk about everything but that, right? Like, they clearly don't give a shit about that. And I gotta be honest, buddy, it's the only part of that I do give a shit about. I don't give a shit about your drawing ability. I don't give a shit about the art that you want to make and haven't tried to do. I don't care about whether or not you are using a pencil to draw. I don't care if you could draw. I don't care if you do collage. I don't care if you color in a coloring book. I don't care if you use Photoshop to snap together stuff you bought. I don't care if you pull down screenshots and start snapping them together. I mean, you probably shouldn't do that, but, like, you know, on a one-to-one basis, it's way less of an injury than this is. You know, like, I mean, if you want to pull screenshots and just play around with them to learn, like, I don't think anybody's gonna be mad at you for that. Like, it's the stealing. That's why people are mad. That's the reason. It's not because we don't know what art is. It's not because we're unclear about the definition of art. It's not because we think that drawing's the only form of art. It's not because, like, we think we're better than people who can't draw. It's not because even all of us are artists who draw. Like, it's none of that shit. Nobody cares about any of that. The thing that people care about is the stealing. That's the part that people care about. If you had done the same thing with public domain works, with stuff that people licensed and you paid for, it would be like using loops that you paid for in music. Because you paid for it. And didn't steal it. That's the difference. It's the stealing. That's the difference. Some of them care about stealing now. They are upset about bigger accounts stealing their prompts and getting more engagement. I mean, every time I see an example of that, it warms the cockles of my troll heart. No, they have no sense of irony with stuff like that. It's like, buddy, you don't own that. Nobody can own it. Like, it's like, I'm not having a conversation about generative art with somebody who thinks that I don't know what collage is. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to have a conversation with you about math art. I'm not going to have a conversation with you about artist studies and how that works. I'm not going to keep telling people how to do ethical collage. I am fucking tired. I'm not doing that shit no more because I'm just like, you just want to steal. And I'm not going to keep telling people that it is ableist as shit to say that me being against AI art is ableist. Gatekeeping. I'm disabled and I make my art just fine without stealing. It's pretty fucking ableist to imply that disabled artists can't make art without stealing because they do every fucking day. Or to call, like, being able to draw, like, privilege in the context, not like it's a privilege, like, oh, it's a privilege to know you. No, like in the, like, social justice privilege, like, it's the same thing as, like, white privilege, but for art, if you can draw. That? No! What are you talking about? You could learn it, and you decided not to. So, and it's always about drawing. Like, oh, not every art is drawing, and I'm like, oh, thank you. I'm 6 years old, and it's my first day.
Shimatta.
And I'm just like, I also really enjoyed the person who was like, I used to like you, and I'm familiar with your work, and I can't believe that you, person whose work I'm familiar with, said that collage isn't real. And I'm like, you're really familiar with my work. I guess. That seems extremely true. Not only are there people who, like, use all kinds of assistive technology to draw, there are people who have learned to draw in other ways with other parts of their bodies. There are people who have relearned how to draw with their non-dominant hands. There are, like, not only is there all of that, but in a lot of, my understanding is that a lot of times it is artists who are helping to make sure that these disabled, like, assistive technologies, like, exist and are good, because we know what it's like to not be able to make things and start to slowly go out of your mind. And we don't want that for other artists. Like, I would do anything that I possibly could to make sure that other disabled people have the opportunity to make the art that they want to make. I know a lot of us would. Because we know what it's like. Like, you can't tell me anything about the pain of not being able to make art that sickening circumstances in my life have not brought incredibly clearly home to me. Like, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Like, if it pained you emotionally not to make art, you would find a way to do it, because people do. And it's like, ethical collage is not difficult. You use things that you paid for or are already in the public domain, or the artist explicitly made available with permission for that purpose. And there's so much of that shit that you shouldn't need anything else. Like, people have whole jobs where their whole thingy is, I don't know if it's their jobs, but people have stores and there's like brands and shit of people who, like, what they sell you is ephemera packs specifically for collage. Do you know how? And like, if you did that, no one would be mad at you because that's very normal. There's like entire book series of like pose references. Like, this is a whole like industry that you don't know about because you don't know anything. And it's like, when I got my emotes commission, I actually tipped the artist. I don't want to say the percentage of how much it was because I don't want to sound like I'm bragging or anything. I'm like, I was lucky to be in a position where I was able to do that, because otherwise we would not have custom emotes because I would not be able to afford them. But luckily I was able to do that. But like, I just did not think that this person was charging enough money, to be frank. I was just like, this is not enough for what you've done. It's just not. So I sent a tip because, like, I just felt like this person deserved more money. Also, I had to make them go back and make a change, which I hate doing. I always feel so bad. And was like, do you have, like, a change fee? Like, is there a fee for, like, you know, having you, like, redo this part? And then they, like, wouldn't take a fee for the, like, redo. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. I'm giving you more money. Like, you had to redo it in 3... I mean, I know that, like, resizing it is, like, not a lot, but it's not nothing. And then, like, resending everything to me again, like, come on. Like, that took time. Oh, yeah, AI weirdos, they're also probably not tipping their delivery or waitresses or anything else. Because, like, it's not required. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, maybe it's not required for you to not be a butthole, but, like, do you gotta be one? Do you gotta? Like, do we gotta be like this? Like, I think no. And, like, the world doesn't get any better if we just act like however we want all the time and don't go, like, because it's like, if I couldn't have afforded it, I wouldn't have, like, requested it in the first place. Like, if you can't afford the tip, then you need to go pick it up yourself. Because, and like, that's because I'm in America and everybody ding dang knows that's what's expected and that's how people are making their money. And if people act like they don't, they're lying. They are lying liars from hell. And it is bullshit to get somebody to do something for you at the bullshit amount of pay that we get in this country and not, like, compensate that person somewhat for doing that for you. Like, that is fucko behavior. And, like, I understand that that's not the rules in the countries where everybody is. That's fine. Like, you should do what is, like, the responsible, kind, and courteous thing to do wherever you are in the proper context. But in the context of America, you should be tipping. And I don't have it for, like, people who come over from Europe and are like, I never tip in my country. Bitch, you're not in your country. And this person's making $2 an hour, so fork it up. If you had enough money to fly here from Europe, you have enough money to tip. Because that is not cheap. Like, I am not trying to hear that. Like, nice, it's better in your country. We're not in your country, and the person that served you still needs to eat. I'm just like, it's not cool to be like that. Don't be an embarrassment to your hometown when you go abroad. Alright, I got it. And my bare feet and everything. I was just kind of thinking about drawing a lot because, like, I am trying very hard not to look at the comments on that video. It's been enough days now. It's mostly died down. When I checked on it again, it was somebody who was just like, there are people saying things. I just wish that I, like, wasn't, like, people are saying things that are so wrong, it's making my brain want to leak out my ears, and I'm, like, really fighting the autistic urge to correct these people with facts. Because, like, I know they don't care, but it bothers me. You know, it bothers me because I'm just like, that's just not true. That is just wrong. You just said a thing about our history that is just wrong. That's just wrong! Ugh! I'm trying to, like, not look. The last time I looked, it was just, like, some angel had shown up to write a really long comment, like, ripping someone else, which was very funny, so, like, because I mean, just, like, you just want to keep stealing. Like, you could at least be honest about it. Because it's like you're not fooling anyone. Have I heard of this term, fractal wrongness? I have not. I wanted to draw these Ava pictures in such a way that they had a different emotional feel to them. I wanted them to feel a little more like, I guess, emotional. Because, like, spoiler for the TikTok I'm about to film, but it's not just the dad stuff, although there's so much dad stuff in Ava. It is more about the, like, the use of religious symbolism that I grew up with. Like, specifically the, like, Christian evangelical, like, apocalypse. Which everyone but the fundies pretends like it doesn't exist. All the rest of the Christians are like, hide that under the bed. Don't look at that part. Do you know what I mean? They're just like, no, that shit is embarrassing. But, like, where I grew up, it was like 95% of the sermons was about that. And so it was kind of a singular experience for me, because I feel like we don't see the Revelations Christian apocalypse kind of depicted very often in our media, because, like, this is a Christian Protestant country where we're still pretending like that's pretty embarrassing. And the only people who do it regularly are evangelicals, and they can't make art. So, like, it's just goofy nonsense. So you just don't see it. And it's like, was it intentional? I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. Whether or not that was like the kind of meaning that came from it was like made, you know, intentional. I suspect that it probably was not. But like, it's still like, you use like legitimate religious imagery. And so now, as someone who grew up in that religious tradition, I kind of just want to talk about what it meant to me to kind of see that. And I don't think that's I don't think that's a perspective on Ava that I've seen anywhere else. So hopefully people will think that is interesting. Also, I would like to set Gendo Ikari on fire. On fire! I hate him! Like, I mean, I'm not trying to tell you everything I'm going to say in this TikTok because I want to keep some back, but I just got to tell you, I hate Gendo. I hate him so much. My dad is worse than Gendo because he's real. Hang on one second. Oh, it wasn't anything about Reg? No. Oh, okay. Okay. That's fine. Like, my dad's worse than Gendo because my dad is a real person who can affect real people's actual lives. And did. And Gendo is not a real person, but, like, I mean, clearly he would be worse if he was a real person. Yeah! Because, you know, of the apocalypse he caused, but, like, Don could only manage to inflict an apocalypse on, like, you know, one singular family, but I feel like, considering that I was in that family, that was enough. And if I repeat myself in the TikTok, it's going to be because I either forgot that I said this, which is probably likely, or I just thought it was sick and I decided to say it again. Gendo is the researcher dad guy, yeah. Fractal wrongness is a state of being wrong at every conceivable scale of resolution. From a distance, a fractally wrong person's worldview is incorrect, and furthermore, if you zoom in on any small part of that person's worldview, that part is just as wrong as the whole worldview. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I guess, like, the other thing that's become really clear, having had this experience making this video, I'm not making content about this again, y'all. This was, it's not that I'm, like, any stranger to having people be weird at me on the internet. It's more of a just, like, you're so wrong and it's bothering me. That part, because, like, I have genuine experience in this, like, so much of it, and people are just telling me that I'm wrong, but it's them that are wrong, because the things that they are saying don't make any sense to anyone who has even done maybe a college. Like, if you did a year of art in college, you understand more about art than these people do. If you did a semester, you understand more. If Speaking of, I had similar Catholic feels from Cowboy Bebop. Thwarted hope, big statues while Ave Maria plays, very raised Catholic. That's cool. That's interesting too, because I was gonna kind of like mention that as well, is because like I feel like when we get a lot of like kind of end timesy type imagery, it's always Catholic. There's a number of horror movies that kind of deal in that, but like they're always Catholic. They're always very, maybe The Omen. I would maybe include The Omen in this like genre of like apocalypse media from a not like that is like evangelical Protestant, but like not from that world, that like engages with it like on any kind of like, I don't know, actual looking at what it says level. Do you know what I mean? Because like people think that they're saying things about like Christian doomers, but like the things that they say are just so off that you can tell that they're just going off of jokes and stereotypes. And so it's not, I mean, it's usually just like a signifier of people being hicks, which like I really don't appreciate, because like it's not even like in Alabama where the Southern Baptist Church has a like literal stranglehold on the entire state. It's not like everybody in Alabama is in the Southern Baptist Church. They're not.
Yush.
But like I feel like when we get from like manga and anime and like John Woo movies, who clearly loves his like Catholic imagery, it seems like a lot of times we're getting like pretty Catholic imagery, and like I think in a way that like makes a lot of sense, because like if what you're going for is like aesthetic, the Catholics have aesthetic in spades, especially compared to most of the Protestants. Like, I've been to some, like, I don't go to, like, churches, but, like, I've been to, like, weddings and stuff, and, like, I think that, like, Greek Orthodox also, like, amazing art, amazing interiors, amazing icon paintings, like, just like really beautiful like craft in it, and like I mean, most Southern Baptist churches genuinely look like they could be a mall food court, and like that's not really gonna be what you want for your aesthetics. But I'm like, but the aesthetics of the Book of Revelation are like right there. You know what I mean? Like, There's like, I think it's based on like places that are like more Protestant are like kind of embarrassed by that shit, as they should be. It is embarrassing, and people should be embarrassed. But like, it's just like this thing that like never comes up, and I find it like strange in its absence because it is so much a part of what is shaping American politics, and therefore world politics is like this thing that everyone pretends like it doesn't exist. And like, I mean, I get not wanting to think about it. These people are scary, but like, you know, like, somebody's gotta do something. Like, eventually. And like, that seems like it would mean that we would need to like admit that this is a thing, you know? It's wild to me how like non-existent it is.
しまった。よし、こんなもんだな。
I mean, I gotta be honest, I took a tour of the, is it Tabernacle or Temple? I forget. Temple, I think. They built a new Mormon temple in Philadelphia when I was still living there, and before they consecrated it, they, I know I pronounced that word wrong, but if I try to do better, it's just gonna get worse, so we're just gonna have to leave it. Before they, now I fucked myself. Before they consecrated it, they were like letting people go on tours, and they like invited people to come and like see the inside of the temple, which I found out about because of work, and then I went home and I was like, honey, you can go in the Mormon temple. It's only gonna be a thing that you can do for like 2 more weeks, and then it's only gonna be for Mormons. And he was like, we have to go. Like, when are we ever gonna have another chance like this? So I ended up going twice, because I went with my work colleagues, and I went back with Josh. And I gotta be honest, I found the interiors a little, like, they're a little camp, but like, at least there is a direction that people are going in. You know, there's like some attempt at like a style or decoration. Like, there's a soul here. It is maybe the soul of like Liberace, but like it is like there's something there, you know. There's like a feel, you know, like they're trying to go for, probably this was like what they should look like was set back in an earlier period when like styles were different, and they were trying to evoke like a feeling of like serenity and kind of like luxurious calm. And then like there's places where they have like, you know, murals of like stuff from the Book of Mormon. Like, Southern Baptists aren't even allowed to like have pictures of Jesus. They say, I mean, they're like, it's idolatry. So like, the church that I grew up in, the way that it worked was like, when you were prior to 12, you had a children's Bible, and that had pictures in it. Because you were, I guess it was to help you learn, But once you hit 12, that's the age of responsibility, and then they take your children's Bible away, and there's a little ceremony where they, like, gift you your grown-up Bible. This is real. I mean, it's interesting because it was all hand-waved for us. It's all allegory. It's about the fall of Rome, the end. I mean, I think, like, from what Josh has said, he grew up mainline Protestant. Like, that was also his experience in, like, I believe a Lutheran church. So, like, it might be Methodist. I get those mixed up. But, like, it was, like, very similar where it was just like, you know, it's allegorical. It was kind of historical and a time period, blah, blah, blah. So, like, I don't think it's just Catholics that do that. I think an amount of Protestants are all like, yeah, no, we don't really do that. Let's talk about the Book of Ruth and the importance of, like, love and loyalty. You know, it's like the Bible is kind of what you get out of it. You know what I mean? Because it's got a lot of stuff in it. And some of that stuff is bad. Oh, they're extremely Calvinist. Yeah. Like, they're really, really proud of how Calvinist they are, which is extremely cringe. It is, though. Like, no, I'm the biggest Calvinist. Can you imagine being in a room where people are acting like that? Worst. I was, like, definitely born to the wrong people. So anyway, God, to close the loop on this, since I've been talking for like an hour, like, whatever, I do that, y'all know me, it's like art, cause like, y'all know it's like torturous for me to not tell people the stuff that I know about art, like, boy. But, what was I doing? I don't know. But at any rate, I was trying to draw these drawings in a way that I knew would read as more kind of like, emotional and less like, you know, a gag comic. And so, like, I just want to pause for this small tangent. I'm so sorry. I guess I'm not, because I'm going to keep doing it. Ooh, let's go play poker. But, like, I drew the world's, like, worst and greatest cartoon of John Travolta. The only concession I made to it actually being John Travolta is that I gave him the divot in the chin and an attempt at some flowy hair. He needs chickens? When I went into my garden this morning, I saw my chickens had run away. They should be around this building. Catch my chickens. Alright, fine. Oh! Bagok, bagok! I got the chickens. But, like, because I drew it in an incredibly cartoony style, like, and then just, like, I kind of gave him a 70s wave, but then I kind of was like, I'm just gonna be a block of color, whatever. And then gave him a cleft chin, and then pointed to it and said, this is John Travolta. And did anyone tell me it wasn't? No. No! There's literally have arguments about, like, who is, like, the real inheritor of that butthole Calvin's fucking bullshit, and I'm just like, give it back, nobody needs this! I'll do the chickens. This is not right. Fine, I'll look for the chickens. But, like, a lot of these people are incredibly resistant because they keep telling me they can't draw. Like, you know, number one, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? I can't knit, but if I broke into somebody's house and stole all their hand-knitted scarves and then just went, I can't knit! That would not be a good reason to do that. I could learn to knit. I could pay someone for a hand-knitted scarf. Someone could gift me one. I got a lot of options here. But that option would definitely be seen as not okay. So why is this any different? It's not. The end. I don't even make digital art. Do you understand me? I don't. I make analog art that I sometimes film with a video camera. Alright, I got another one. So it's not about, like, people are like, oh, you must draw with a tablet. No, bitch. That Shinji drawing that I put in the Discord was drawn with a number 2 Bic mechanical pencil, and I buy them bitches in bulk. It's not about the materials. It's not. It reminds me a lot of people wanting me to sew for free, hem their pants, etc. I had family members bring mending when they would visit for Christmas. You're going to fix my pants, that kind of entitlement. I mean, I might ask you to fix my pants, but, like, not for nothing. It takes time to fix pants. What if you wanted to do something else? What if you don't feel like it? Ah! Got him. Okay. But yeah, like, I keep telling these people, so I'm just like, yeah, but it's stealing. But like, okay, since you clearly don't want to talk about the stealing, they just don't want to hear about it from anyone who is potentially affected. They're just like, no, I don't want to hear about it. I just want to be able to keep doing it without having to hear from the people who are affected. But they also want the, like, praise. Like, they're genuinely hurt when artists are like, you didn't do anything. And it's stolen. And you didn't do anything. Because, like, they don't understand that, like, the thing that artists they're like, well, artists copy each other all the time. I'm like, yeah, but, like, those are studies, and it's not like we go around demanding that everyone give us applause for completing the very basic task of doing general studies. I mean, if you were a musician, would you expect to get applause from everyone in the world for practicing chords? No, that's just what you do to keep your skills up. Like, you're asking for praise for things that we don't even expect praise from each other for, because what we prize as artists, you really do need to meet a pretty high bar of originality and skill. And sometimes but one of them things has gotta be there, or we don't care. I mean, unless we know you, or you're like, I'm trying to get better, then, like, you know, you encourage people, like, but it's like, you know, you're like, oh, that was great. But it's not, like, knocking your socks off or anything, but it's like, it's not always about that. Sometimes it's about, like, I had a really good time drawing this. I think my drawing's getting better. And you're like, yeah, buddy, it is. You're doing great. You know, but, like, if somebody who's, like, experienced artists at a pro level don't go around demanding praise from each other for our, like, practice studies, That's weird. That's weird. It'd be like, hey, Forstein, look, I just did like 5 shadow studies. I turned a circle into a sphere. Like, yeah. That's like a really early practice thing that we all learn. Like, I wouldn't even think to show that to them. Because, like, it's not even... Sometimes I'll do shadow studies just because I'm bored. You know? Like, it's not, like, it's just, like, sometimes you just have to keep, practicing some things, especially if, like, for me, they don't come super naturally. Like, some of the kinds of drawing that I think are important to keep polished are not the kinds that come naturally to me. It's not the cartoon drawing, it is the more realistic drawing, which I find harder to do. And, like, more, like, it's just difficult, and like, for me, and for some people, it's not. Like, for some people, that is what they like to do. That's what they like to draw. Is that all of them? Oh, yes, I got them all! And, like, you know, or just, like, it's just, like, some people like to draw block lettering. Like, some people just like to draw, like... I really like drawing triangles. It's pretty good. There's just kind of things that people kind of fall back into, but then there's also things that are, like, you know, if you decide that it's worth keeping this skill up, you know ding dang good and well you're gonna have to keep practicing it, because it's not natural. Go away. But, like, doing those, like, more, like, intentionally kind of emotional drawings was... Oh, Pocket Circuit Guy. Pocket Circuit Guy! Alright. Like, it reminded me of... Because, like, I keep trying to tell these people, like, you can draw, right? Outside of the stealing, I'm like, you can draw. You can draw. You're typing to me on a phone or a computer, so that means that you have enough mobility that you definitely can draw. Like, maybe you can't draw like you would want to, but, like, do you want to? Because, like, it's not required. Like, you don't have to. I don't, like, I think sometimes people, they're like, you can draw. Like, some of the attitude is like, you can draw, so that means you're... Thank you for letting me spew talk about this so I don't have to think about my cat who is still not pooped. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Still waiting. Vet says it's okay, but it's just agonizing. He's gonna be in an alley. Sure, kid, whatever. I guess I'll play Koi. This is wrong. It's down here. Yes, soothing Koi. Oh, thank you, Claire. I mean, like, it's even, like, I've been through this, you know, before, but it just, it's never what you want, and, like, it was fine before, but it's still like it's stressful. So but like I keep the reason that there is a reason why, because I keep telling these people you can draw. You can draw. Like and like you are the only person, if you want to draw, then you are the only person who would draw the way you would. Nobody else can draw the way that you would draw. And that, in my opinion, the most important thing about learning to draw is not about being able to completely replicate everything that you can see with your eyes. It's more about, like, being able to, like, make sure that you are drawing what only you could draw in the way that only you could do it. It's to drawing, like, there are technical skills that are a hurdle, that it can be a little difficult to get over. There's a lot of training your eye. There's a lot of, like, what my favorite art teacher called, like, what she would say, she was like, your brain knows, but your fingers don't know yet. You have to know it not just in your brain, but in your fingers. Like, you have to learn how to see things in a different way, and then you have to teach your fingers how to do that. And that is difficult, even if you're not doing 2D realism. There's, like, other kinds of drawing, but, like, that also requires, you know, kind of, there, just because it's comics doesn't mean there aren't better and worse ones, that there aren't, like, people who are more or less skilled at it, you know, and that, like, there aren't better and worse ways to do it. Like, you know, it requires a lot of precision in a lot of ways to do things, the simpler they are. But, like, if you just want to make a little funny cat, and if you don't think it looks, like, if you want to draw and you don't really want to learn 2D realism, I would recommend trying cartooning. Like, for serious. I would seriously recommend, if the 2D realism is scary and that's not what you want to do, you don't gotta do anything you don't want to do. So, like, just, like, cartoon if that seems fun to you. Draw something, draw a little cat, and if it doesn't look enough like a cat, write cat next to it with an arrow. Cartoonists are allowed to do that. And you could do it too. So, like, I'm like, I don't, because people are like, oh, you're so good at drawing, and I'm just like, I can't have an opinion on the supposed, like, giant wells of emotional pain that people are suddenly discovering that they can't draw. Like, I just gotta say I find it a little dubious, but sure. Okay. Like, I just, the idea that, like, there's this, like, idea that because I can draw good, whatever that's supposed to mean, that I'm not allowed to, like, have an opinion on what it feels like to not be able to draw. Like, number one, I wasn't born knowing how to draw. So, that's weird. Like... And, like, number two, like... I mean, it's very kind, I guess, in the most frustrating way possible that these people are like, you draw good, whatever that means to them, but, like, that is not a universal opinion, okay? And it's certainly, like, do I think I draw pretty well? Yeah, I think I do. I accomplish what I set out to. I have a pretty good eye. I can, like, you know, I can visually, like, mimic things that I see, like, given enough time, and some practice, but, like, you know, like, I gotta keep it up, like, that stuff, but, like, do I think I'm pretty good at drawing? Like, yeah, I think I'm pretty good at it, but, like, when I was in college, I gotta be honest, the way that I draw was not especially appreciated. It was not considered good. I was constantly getting called down and told that I was, like, not technically good enough. I will say my realism drawing is significantly better now because I have continued to work on it. But, like, it was not, like, the feedback I was getting, I didn't think was very helpful because it was not, like, it wasn't useful. It was just, like, your natural style is lowbrow tacky. And so, therefore, like, you draw bad. And it's not like it happened once. Like, it was a number of times that I would just get, like, the worst crits from the professor, who was just, like, basically, like, your art sucks. And it's not serious. And you're technically incredibly bad. And, like, part of it was, like, you know, I had not really done... I'm a painter. I had just been a painter. I think I got pissed off and decided to let... I believe that is what happened. But, like, I kept getting these, like, bad marks. I kept getting, like, people fucking writing on top of my fucking drawings. And, like... I'll never forget that. How dare you? And then, like, I was looking, some of the stuff that these people said to me, even though at the time I did kind of fight against it, I knew that I was not as technically proficient as some of my peers in this one particular thing, and wasn't really getting a lot of help to improve except by my fellow students, in more than one class, and, like, got very discouraged, and was like, maybe I can't draw, maybe I am bad at drawing, and then I thought I was bad at drawing for a really long time, and, like, I had always drawn cartoons and drawn, like, my little things that I like to draw, and, like, and I just, like, stopped drawing that stuff, and I kind of did devote myself for a really long time to drawing only 2D realism until I did get good at it, but, or, I don't know what good, but, like, good enough. You know, I got good enough for my own purposes, at least. But, like, some of the things that those people said to me, I think about to this day. I was looking at that, Shinji drawing that I did. I did say this in Discord, but I'm thinking about it, so I'm just gonna say it again. So, hopefully it's not boring.
Sanko.
Sanko.
Shiko. Shun.
Oh my god, it's a massacre. There are all kinds of styles of drawing. I'm not good at drawing, but I draw. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I think that they think there's some kind of, like, universal bar that you can pass over, and if you can do A, B, C, and D, then that means you're good at drawing. And, like, one of my very dearest friends is, like, the best figure drawing person I've ever seen. Like, ever. And, like, my figure drawing skills are, not that good. They're fine. Like, they're fine for what, I mean, if I needed them more, I would practice it, but I don't like it. So I don't really do it. And I kind of tend to avoid projects that would have me doing fully 2D, you know, charcoal drawings of like nude figures. Like that's not really. But like I did so badly in that class, and the teacher was so mean about it, and I'm just like I'm bad at this. But like, you know, I kind of expressed to her at one point, like, oh my god, you're so good. Because like there's always somebody who is good at the thing that you are bad at or think you're bad at. And like, but if you go to that person and you're like, oh my god, I love your thing so much, like, I wish I could do stuff like that. I just, like, looking at your art makes me feel like I suck. And then every time that person will be like, no! You are the one who is the genius. You are the one who is good at things. I wish I could do thing like you do. Every time. That is how that conversation goes. And, like, except it's mean art professors. But yeah, like, one of these drawing professors told me, and like, I'm a painter, okay? And not only am I a painter, I'm an oil painter. So that means I'm used to working very small areas before I move on. That will come in important later. But like, I had done some drawing and pen and ink stuff, but like it was not at a level. And so like, one of the things that he wanted us to do was like, he just kept calling me down for using too many lines in my drawings. He wanted me to like do like big gestural stuff, and it's like, okay, if it's the assignment to do large gesture drawings, I will do that. But like the times when I try to do the thing that you're asking me to do, you tell me that it's bad, and that's because it is bad, because it's worse, because that's not how I know how to make things. So like, you know, I'm like, he's just like, you need to just manifest the picture through your arm. And I'm like, yo, I didn't know what it was called then. I didn't even know that this was a thing. But like, I have aphantasia. I can't do pictures in my head. If I just start drawing random lines, I do tend to need to go back and like correct. Like true it back to like what it needs to look like. And you know, I just true things up as I'm drawing them by drawing like extra lines. If you see a Sharpie drawing of mine where there's just like a big swoopy line, that's because I drew a bunch of little pencil lines and then erased them. That's how that happens, because it doesn't happen any other way. And like, this man just made me feel like shit. And like, and like, even at the time, I was just like, this is just, he was like, if you can't draw it with like full gestures and you're doing these little like extra lines. He said extra lines like they like killed his grandma. Like, it was, I was just like, he had a position and he was just not willing to deal with anything else being okay. And like, come on, man. Oh, he got me. And like, I'm sorry, I just don't draw that way. I don't like drawing that way. It does not feel natural to me. And now that I am older and have a lot more experience, because I'm like, he told me my drawings were wrong and bad because I used too many lines. I was 18. Like, ease up, motherfucker. I mean, like, I understand getting crit, but like, just being like, the way that you draw is wrong is not a legitimate crit to give somebody. And if you want to do something as an exercise, fine. Make it a fucking exercise. Weirdo. Because I do think that it is important to understand that, like, what you should be trying to do when you're trying to, like, learn and improve your art is, like, you should be trying to manifest your own style and the art that only you could make. And that's what, like, you know, you can't do that with the stealing machine. I gotta call Koi. Fuck! Well, I'm boned. And, like, that's why I'm like, I am insistent. If you tell me that you can't draw, I'm gonna turn right back around and tell you that you definitely can. Every time. I'm gonna tell you, yes, you can. If you don't want to, that is okay. But if you tell me that you can't draw and you think that you can't, I assure you, you can. You can do it. You could do it right now. And it's like, you don't gotta show it to anybody. If it's not fun, why bother? That's the other thing too, is it's like, it's not like, if you don't enjoy drawing, then why do you care that you can't draw? What would you even want to do it for then? What would be the point? It's not easy to learn. It's not the worst thing, but it's not easy to learn. But it's like, you know, I don't get it. Like, you can do it. I'm just like, you win. You know what? You win. I guess you can't draw because you won't believe that you can. And that means that you definitely can't. But, like, if you just would try, if you want to, then you could. But, like, nobody's taking anything from you because I can draw and you can't. That's weird. It's a weird thing to think. Well, thank y'all for letting me kind of blabberab on. It did, is that, oh God. What time is it really? Okay, it is the right time. The clock on the computer says it's 8 o'clock, and the clock on the wall says it's 6 o'clock, and I'm like, Jesus help me, I have got to fix this clock. I'm gonna do it as soon as I get off the stream. But I appreciate y'all. Yeah, no, I never changed the one from the, I never changed the computer in here from being on Eastern time. I've just put the links back in the chat. Hopefully I'll have better news by the next stream. I'm trying to kind of keep people updated in the Discord if you are interested in that. No news so far, we're just waiting. But, appreciate y'all, like, helping me take my mind off of it. I hate waiting, so I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. And, yeah, thank you. So stressful. I'm like, it's been nice to be making all these little pencil drawings. It's like they're all, like, they're mostly pencil drawings, and I just get to scribble. Which is fun. It's just fun to scribble texture into a drawing. Like, you just scribble. It's great. Like, if you're scared, I am gonna get off the stream, but, like, I promise you, if you legitimately want to learn how to draw, and you're scared to learn how to draw, because it seems scary, and you think you have to be really good. No, man. No! Just start, like, drawing cartoons. And, like, what should you start drawing cartoons of? I don't know. See if you could draw, like, just pick a comic, like a 3-panel newspaper comic, and then you copy that comic every day. Pick a Garfield you copy Garfield every day. And just do that for a while. And see, if you could draw a better cat afterwards. Or don't. You don't gotta. Just draw the weirdest Garfield you can think of. Or just draw, like, a head. Like, you could draw a stick figure and then just be like, this is Dave! And, like, I've seen some really cool stick figure comics. Like, nothing's stopping you. You don't gotta be, like, whatever people think is good at drawing. You do not have to be good at drawing to make comics or do cartooning. All you gotta do is just, like, put some heart into it and, like, have fun. And then you'll be fine, And if you like it, keep doing it. And if you don't like it, then like, don't worry about it. It's fine. Nobody's checking to see if you can draw or not before they, like, give you a driver's license or something. Like, no, it does not matter, and genuinely nobody cares, mostly. This is the only time where it's even been a thing. Like, people genuinely don't care. They'll be like, oh, that's nice. And that's it. Like, you're not missing out on much, especially if it's not something you enjoy. So, alright, y'all. I'm kind of beat because I've been a little stressed out, so I'm going to skip the regular outro, but, like, I appreciate y'all. Thank you. When I know something, you will know something. Obviously, the reward stream is on hold until we get some news on the pumpkin, but when I know about that, you'll know about that too. It's been really chill hanging out with you. Thank you all. I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. And my name is Allie. I'm from Ok2BeFat because it is okay to be fat. This has been Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. I will see you on Friday if you can make it. If not, I'll see you when you can. That's it from me. I gotta go. Bye.